The water is a fantastic place to find adventure. But it's dangerous and unpredictable out there. So I'm going to suit up for some survival training, because once I hit the wild water of Florida, I'm going to need all the help I can get.
This part of my wild water journey takes me to the Florida Keys, where every year about 400 waterspouts are reported. Now, I'm used to chasing tornadoes out in the Great Plains of Kansas and Nebraska, but here I'm going to do it on the water where the waterspouts form, in a boat. I don't know of anybody who chases waterspouts intentionally out on the water. We're going to give it a shot.
Waterspouts don't attract as much attention as their land-based cousin, the tornado. Mostly because they happen on the water, where they cause less damage. But they're still fascinating to watch and dangerous to chase. Imagine encountering this in a small motorboat. So before I left for Florida, I got some water survival training. The Durham Regional Police Marine Unit took me out to the often treacherous waters of Lake Ontario and drilled me in water survival and rescue techniques. Waterspouts aren't just a tropical phenomenon. The Great Lakes get their share of twisters too. We're heading for open water on a cold and windy day. The officers use the trip out to practice pacing maneuvers. Then, we simulate a sinking ship emergency.
Flares out! Yeah, we'll get the ocean flares.
Every procedure is run exactly as though this were the real thing.
Get rid of the gun. We don't need them.
The drill is, the boat is sinking, and the officers and I have only minutes to don survival suits, call for rescue, and abandon ship.
Durham, please bring one, Prescott.
Repeat, this is an exercise. We have a mayday. Our boat is taking on water. We're preparing to abandon ship. Our position is north, 43 degrees, 47 minutes, 0.013 seconds. John, you want to shoot off a flare?
Yeah.
In for, thank you.
Coming up for 4 minutes.
The Marine unit calls in the search and rescue helicopter to assist with the mock emergency.
They're going to come off our port stern area, have a little look-see for a while. That's their debrief. They're going to drop 2 Sartecs on the deck of the Stokes basket.
Air support is a vital part of marine rescue. Even though I've never done this before, I'm expected to keep up with the team. With these survival suits, you can last hours out in the cold water. The SAR chopper drops 2 divers in the water and then practices the tricky maneuver of deploying a crewman onto the deck of the boat. The SAR helicopter crew makes this look effortless, but this is a dangerous maneuver, training exercise or not.
Doing this on a relatively calm day is hard enough. Trying to do this in a stormy sea out in the middle of the ocean must be almost impossible.
Experiencing the challenges of this training makes me realize how vulnerable I might be out on the open ocean. Florida waters can be tranquil and mild, but they can also have their wild side. A lot of what happens here happens on the water, and the Sunshine State has plenty of it. Hundreds of miles of coastline, rivers, lakes, and the world-famous Everglades.
Since I've come to Florida to experience its wild water, it doesn't get any wilder than when it's full of these guys.
When you think of Florida, you think gators. Alligators are one of our last links to the prehistoric world. Although they're not quite the swamp-stalking, eating machines of legend, they're still not to be messed with.
So, what's the trick?
Okay, go ahead and get off slowly there. And
Now, how big is this gator?
this one's almost 10 foot,
And probably weighs about...
probably 300 and something.
Okay,
Yeah, he's heavy.
that's twice my weight.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk
And how much training have I had so
circle
far?
around. What, about 5 seconds?
Okay, so the idea is walk wide around him.
Yep.
They say the best way to get close to a big gator is to sit on him.
Right.
Okay.
And I'll take one hand forward, just cover his eyes. So he's gonna walk off.
Oh, he's hissing.
These creatures are unbelievably powerful. Oh well. Nice knowing you. I'm in the Florida Everglades, looking for its most notorious resident.
Okay, so this morning we're going after alligators. And of course, the preferred mode of transportation here in the Florida Everglades, airboat. This is gonna be loud.
When you're deep in the Everglades, the only way to get a good look at wild alligators is with one of these 400 horsepower floating food processors.
These machines seem to be equal part boat, hovercraft, and leaf blower. Let's hit it.
Although these animals face extinction in other parts of the world, it's certainly not the case here.
They estimate over 2 million alligators in the wild in the state of Florida. And we also have farms in Florida farming them just like cattle. There's actually 32 licensed farms in Florida. The alligators out here don't have any contact with humans. So they're not being fed by people and aren't associating people with food. So they are a lot less dangerous than people think. I mean, I swim out here in the canals with them and that. It's the ones that are in town where people have been feeding them. They get confused, and that's where the attacks usually are coming from. They have made such a strong comeback. In the last 20 years, we've had 20 fatalities. Yeah, they're saying that the alligators are coming into their homes, and that's not what has happened. We have built so much down here. We've actually encroached into their habitat. We've come into their homes. So it's our fault that this stuff is happening.
The gators of Florida are fascinating to get close to. But now, I've got a strange weather phenomenon to chase. On my first day of the hunt, I luck out before I even get the boat in the water.
Waterspout. Just got here. Just arrived in the Keys and already a waterspout right here. I'm here to see waterspouts, and there's one right there. Small, slender, rope-like waterspout. Fantastic. I wasn't even hunting for them yet today. I was just getting the boat ready.
Well, this is encouraging. And even though some of my fellow storm chasers think I'm nuts, I'm chasing waterspouts in this little boat. But with skies looking like this, can I find any more spouts? I'm down in Florida, chasing waterspouts. And the secret to success is finding the fastest way to get to them. And I think I have all the bases covered.
The motel that I'm using as my home base here in Sugarloaf Key is perfect. Not only do they get lots of waterspouts here, but I've got lots of choices in how I want to chase them. Check it out. 2 steps from my door, I've got the good old SS No Fear. I can use this guy if there's waterspouts out in the bay or even out in the Gulf of Mexico. But if that doesn't work, I've got other choices. Come check it out. If I feel the need to relocate to another key, I can always get in the van, and if I need to, I can even tow the boat trailer. But there's one more option still. Now, if I want to get particularly crazy, I can abandon the land and water altogether, come out here to the Sugarloaf airstrip, which is only a 1-minute drive away, hop in the Cessna, and chase them from the air.
This is Fantasy Dan's Air Charter. And this is, well, you guessed it. Dan takes me up high over the Keys to familiarize me with the area and, if we're lucky, maybe see a spout from 1,000 feet up.
Looks like there's one forming right over here. Yeah, look at that. That area right there?
So you come to the Florida Keys to look for waterspouts.
And there, they're starting to form right here. Awesome.
Yep.
So is this what it typically looks like here? You see this area in a small rotation, the funnel coming down?
Starting to see that.
Right, a little rounded area right here.
Around the
Yeah.
heart-shaped area there, yeah. I've been flying here in the Keys since 1975, watching the Keys go by at 500 feet. I've stood here on the ramp here at the airport and looked up into the eye. I've had them come across the ramp, across a couple 100 yards over there, then they come through the trees and then turn into nothing but wind swirling across the runway and out the other side.
There's basically 2 peaks in the day for waterspout activity. The main one is in the afternoon when you get the best daytime heating, and the other, oddly enough, is early in the morning. So here I am, first thing, still dark, heading down to the boat. Gonna try and catch one of these early morning waterspouts.
Although I'm definitely not a morning person, I'm sure glad I didn't miss this spectacular sight.
Quite often in the Keys during the summertime, you'll get these lines of clouds that form, and that's what I'm looking for. They're small right now, but by this afternoon, they should be developing quite high, and they'll be stretching this air column underneath them. And if I'm lucky, that's where a waterspout's gonna form. That's what I'm looking for right now.
You would think that storm chasing from a boat would be pretty easy. But the waterways of the Florida Keys are incredibly complicated, with thousands of shallow reefs, shoals, and sandbars. And not to mention, these choppy little waves will shake the fillings right out of your teeth. But the conditions are great for spouts, and that's all that matters.
We got really good cloud development over here, very strong updraft, and I expect there to be a waterspout over here at any time, really. The big problem is being able to get to it. There's so many little islands and channels here that I don't even know if I can reach this guy.
It seems to be an endless cycle of motoring here and there and getting nothing. It's very frustrating because I know they're out here somewhere. And one day turns into the next.
Waterspout chasing is a lot like big game hunting or fishing. Spend a lot of time waiting and waiting and waiting.
The doldrums of this chase are starting to get to me. So I called fellow storm chaser Mike Tice, who lives down here, and asked him to join me on the hunt for waterspouts.
This cloud pattern here is looking pretty good. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. There's a good chance that we'll get some spin, some rotation coming up.
It's looking really good. We got a good cloud line here, all updraft, and just waiting for it to consolidate a little bit better and get a better base.
It looks like fortune will smile on us. And then...
Oh, and right off the bat, we've run into trouble. Looks like we've run aground on some rocks.
And to make matters worse, now our motor won't start, and the sun is going down, and we're in the middle of nowhere in the Florida Keys.
So, Mike, glad you could come along on the chase.
Yeah, thanks for having me along.
Yeah, you're
This is
definitely.
always,
I'm glad to have you here because now I got two sets of legs to push this boat instead of just one. Well, here's the latest update on the waterspout chase. My friend Mike Tice has come down from Homestead, Florida, to come and join me today. And we were out, had some pretty good-looking storms, but no waterspouts. And then the engine failed.
Oh, pity.
We've got a dead starter motor. Sun is going down, and Mike and I are now pushing the boat back. This should take till, well, hopefully not until dawn. Of course, one issue is dusk is when sharks come out to feed, so we're a little paranoid about that. Push, push, Mike! Heave! Oh! Heave! Oh! Heave! Oh! Oh, this is great. I love this part. Pushing the boat in the dark in the Gulf of Mexico. The good thing is we were able to phone the marina and get a hold of a guy with a boat. And he's going to try and tow us in, hopefully.
I think we're making progress. It's looking a lot better now. I think we're going to get back just fine. But it was quite a journey.
Maybe boats and I were just not made for each other. My frustration level has reached the breaking point.
You hear reports. Oh yeah, we just saw a waterspout yesterday up at Marathon Key. Oh, there was one in Key Largo. Oh, there was one down near Key West. Oh, you should have been here a week ago. This is reality TV. That's it. I'm going home.
And of course, just as I'm about to give up, what looks like the beginnings of a spout appear on the horizon.
See if we can find a good space to pull off. Oh yeah. Okay, looks like we got some good conditions here. If my predictions are right, we might have a waterspout or two here any minute now. Waterspout right there. There's a slender funnel that's coming down. It's probably in contact with the water, but the bottom part is invisible right now. I'm hoping we get more condensation forming so we can see the contact with the ocean. Another one forming here, possibly. Perfect setup. This is amazing. We got one waterspout over here. It's been quite persistent. And then another one formed right over here. It's very slender, two at once. Look at that. That is nice. It'd be pretty scary if you were in a boat underneath that. But I want to be there with my boat right now. There's two well-defined spray rings right now, so both those spouts are definitely fully in contact with the water. I wish I had the boat out there. Had an inkling that this was going to go up. It did follow this line of clouds that was running parallel to the keys, and boom, like 1, 2, 3 waterspouts. Really, really nice. That's what I came to see. Oh yeah.
They're weird, they're cool, they're dangerous. And next storm season, I plan to be back to get even closer to these elusive and powerful whirlwinds.